What drew you to Philip K. Dick's short story as inspiration for the film?
It was a reaction to hearing the premise of the story and the idea of being able to do a story of where my protagonist is fighting fate, but fate isn't some intellectual abstraction. Fate is a group of people, and people that are all around us that we don't realize are there. I thought was just a magnificent premise, and I'd never seen a movie that really did that.
On SFX, it's quite rare for us to be reviewing a film where we can genuinely say the stars of this film are the stars, as opposed to the special effects. I mean, how important was the relationship aspect of this movie?
Huge. I mean, I didn't set out to make a big, sci-fi film. I don't even know that it's right to categorize this as a sci-fi film. It has a tinge of sci-fi to it. But I really wanted to tell the story in the most realistic way possible. And I also wanted to sort of turn on its head some of the things that the Philip K. Dick story is doing. Because that's really a story about paranoia and about the line between reality and fantasy. And I wanted to confront my character with a reality that is behind the reality, and then see how he reacted once he knew that was just true.
Also, it's not in any way a big special effects movie, and yet it's still incredibly visually striking. I mean, a lot of the visually striking aspects are in camera, as it were. Obviously, there's a few tricks with the doors.
Right.
I mean, is that always the intention, to try and not rely on CGI?
Yeah, I mean, it was even a deeper intention than that. The premise is so fantastical that I think you have a choice. You either go into the massive special effects realm, and then your actors aren't the star, or you say, well, I'm going to ground the movie in something that's almost the opposite of the premise. And I went the second route. I ground it in complete reality. The way that I filmed it, the way that I handled special effects, the actors I chose, who are very naturalistic actors, shooting on location, almost every day of our shoot.
How important was the casting to that film? I mean, was Matt Damon always in your head when you were writing it, or was it just a lucky coincidence because you worked with him before,
Once I sat down to write the script, Matt was the person that I was writing for. I was looking for that sort of ability to play whatever character he plays with incredible authenticity, not in a heightened way, but in a very naturalistic way. I was looking for the incredible relatability that Matt has. He seems like your next door neighbor, or your friend from college. And that I thought was really important, again, to ground that premise. And then knowing him and knowing how easy he was to work with, I thought, well, that's a great asset on your first film.
I read the short story a long, long time ago, but I don't believe the doorways are in the short story, are they?
No.
I think that's one of the memorable things that people remember the film. Where did the idea come from?
It was really struggling with this thing of how do I have a supernatural group, or a group with supernatural powers, but do it in this totally realistic way, or as realistic as possible. So I tried to play down those powers, and I didn't want people who could just teleport across the city. But I also had to figure out the problem of how can they be wherever they need to be around a person and get there really quickly. So it was sort of struggling with that dilemma of realism versus their needs as supernatural beings.
Did you get any money for product placement for the hats? Because
No.
you big up the hats quite well in them.
No, I don't think that hat companies make enough money to do product placement.
It is a relationship movie in a way, and it's a very funny kind of. It's almost a romantic comedy. Was that kind of the aspect you wanted to bring out of it?
Well, I wouldn't describe it as a romantic comedy. I mean, it's that there's definitely humor in it. I think more almost like black humor or dry humor.
Yeah.
I mean, people shouldn't think of it as a straight sci-fi movie, because that's not what they're going to get. It's got a sci-fi tinge to it.